do in this tutorial is turn Blender into Substance Painter. So instead of painting textures, we're going to be painting PBR materials. So first thing I'm going to do is next to General, I'm going to click the plus, go to General, and go to Texture Paint. Then I'm going to change this UV window to the Shader Editor because the UVs aren't important right now, the nodes are. So the next thing we want to do, you'll notice that this is pink because we don't have a texture in here. And in Texture Paint, it will only show your texture. So what we want to do is go up to Overlays, go down to Opacity under Texture Paint, change that to 0. So now we can see our actual texture. Now I'll change this color, and the reason we're not seeing it is because we're in this flat shaded view. So what we can do is we can change it to this look dev or rendering. I'm going to change it to this one because I don't have an HDRI set up, and this one already has it in there. This is our material. We can play around with the roughness, metallic, whatever we want to do. Let's make it a plastic, like a rough plastic. Yeah, that'll work. Sure, we'll stick with light blue. Why not? Then we're going to add a new shader. We're going to add a principled BSDF, just like we have. I'm going to plug that one in the surface just so we can see it. And let's change it to another color. Let's change it to orange. Okay, and let's make it all the way metallic so we can see that. There we go. All right, so there's a nice big difference between these two materials. Okay, so what we want to do next is we want to combine these and then control where they're being placed. So I'm going to add a mix shader. Let's plug that in here. I'm going to plug the bottom one into the bottom, the top one into the top. And then over here in our tools, you'll notice it says no textures. Now we have to do it in this order. We can't create a texture in here because if we do, it's not going to show up in here. So what we need to do is click the plus, click base texture. We'll name it. Let's just call this mask 1. Doesn't really matter. And we want it to be black. So black is transparent and white is fully opaque. And so what it did there is it plugged this texture into one of our principled shaders. So we're going to disconnect that. Let's bring that up here, and we're going to connect the color into the faction of the mix shader. What you'll notice is that it is taking out the orange because it's fully black, and we want to be able to paint so that it switches. So, like I said, black is transparent, white is opaque. So now I can just start painting on this. So I have my strength set to 0.7, which is the default. So if you want it to come in at full strength, set that to 1. And you can see that it's painting right there, just like we would do in Substance Painter. If you wanted to like take off a certain section or paint a certain section, we can go into edit mode and we can select whatever we want. So I'm going to select over here. I have this marked off by marking the seams. And I pushed L, I hovered over it and pushed L with face selection. Now I'll go back in here. And what we're going to do is up here next to Texture Paint, click on that face selection masking for painting. So click on that and you'll see that this is highlighted and the rest is kind of faded out. So now we can paint white with our texture. We can even use these other tool types just so that we can fill it up. And then let's turn that off. And there you can see we have now painted 2 PBR materials. So let's say we wanted to keep doing this. Well, we can keep adding new materials. So I'm going to add a new principled BSDF down here. Let's pull our material output out just a little bit. Let's add another mix shader right there. Let's connect that into the bottom. Okay, so now we have this white. Let's make it a white, just diffuse. So right now they're mixed. So we're going to do another thing like this. So over on the right, click the little plus to add texture slot, add base color, name it. I'm going to name it mask 2, and let's change that to black and click OK. And again, it plugged it in over here. So we're going to disconnect that. Let's bring this over here. Plug that color into Faction. Okay, and like, well, I don't know what we'll do. Let's select face loop right here. Sure. I'm going to do the masking there. And let's, oh, it crashed. All right, thanks to the magic of editing, I am back to this point. Remember to save often, especially since Blender 2.8 is super unstable right now. But that's okay. I'm back to where we were, and oh my gosh. Okay, so right now in this current version of Blender 2.8, this is crashing every time I try to do the second mask. So what you'll want to do is wait until it's better. I'll make a new video once that happens, but for now, this is how you would do it. But soon we'll have the beta, and early next year we'll have the finished release, and so this will be all stable and we can get it working. Anyway, if you have questions, feel free to put those at the bottom. Tell me what you liked. Tell me what you'd like to see. Subscribe and like and share. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.